Hello, good evening. Well, it's finally happened, folks. Due to the lack of progress in the front lines, the battlefield in Eastern Europe right now, the United States has begun to find someone to blame for the failure of its support. And the foreign policy press has issued this astounding statement that for most of Putin's years in power, the United States and the West responded inadequately to Russia's increasingly aggressive acts, from a series of assassinations in Western countries to the occupation of other countries' sovereign territory. Now, looking a little closer at this article, the headline, when you open it, says the long destructive shadows of Obama's Russian doctrine. So, looks like they're throwing Obama under the bus on this one. Looks like they're going to be blaming the failure of the advancements on the front lines on the president before the last. So it just seems like they could just blame anybody they want anymore nowadays. But uh, reading the article, it goes into some of the current status of the battlefield and some of the policies and campaigns that led up to it. But without a doubt, Putin bears full and total responsibility, of course. But there's a it it just there was one part that I thought I could skip to right away. That it was just the declaration of this being Obama's fault. Uh, from can't seem to find it now, but you can see it behind me. I implore you to go to the links below and search for it. But the statement I was actually trying to make was not necessarily about uh, that the U.S. is blaming. It's not the U.S. In fact, it's the foreign press that's blaming the failures for the advancements in Ukraine, but also they seem to say that in the global times that the US is no longer capable of maintaining its mafia style rules based order. Well, hold on. I'm having a problem. Is it our mafia style rules based order that led to the inability to make the advancements on the front lines? Or is it our mafia rule based order that is uh, the uh, one that the world doesn't want to have to put up with anymore. It's getting difficult to decide these days. I think all this comes out of the Associated Press. But it's just part of the confusion that they're thrown at this these days. Uh, Another tweet that I pulled up from a user, but once I get this window cleared up, I can. A Mr. Frank Figliuzzi at Frank Figliuzzi on Twitter. Uh, how the Saudis are they're not just taking over more than just our professional golf, which is of course a hit on Donald Trump and his deals with the Saudi PGA golf tour. They're saying that the water being a global commodity, uh, and they're buying our water is what you know the what is this the Washington Post is saying. Now, if we read into this article, it's a little bit more complicated because what it seems like is the regulations allowing a foreknown company to use water in Arizona to grow alfalfa for cattle in Saudi Arabia which I'm sure some of that grain stays here locally as well. But if you read into the fine print here, this is actually more about the fight between the state's ownership of the groundwater and the private property rights of the individual to do with their property as they please. You know, that great American freedom that we're all talking about, the great American dream that everybody keeps wanting to have a piece of and come over here for. But what it seems like is that great American freedom these days is just the freedom for your government to deceive you and lie to you for the benefit and the interest of billionaires. And we're just seeing it happen in real time, and we're getting bombarded on both sides with stories that don't necessarily, uh, you know, make sense a lot of times. And, a lot of times we're wondering why. I mean, where could this confusion have started? How come as time progresses and goes on and on and on, it just seems to get further and further away, this ability to understand uh, reality. And I think a lot of people would tell you it wasn't always this way. Mr. Anthony LaMesa here at AJ LaMesa, it wasn't always this way. After adjusting for currency inflation, college tuition has increased 747.8% since 1963. The Education Data Initiative found this was something that was an article on CNN Business. Some colleges cost $95,000 a year and they're just getting more expensive. Well, here's why. And we're just going to run on down some of the quick reasons why it's getting harder and harder to find out what's going on these days and get that education we need to know. Um, we'll skim past the intros here. Wasn't always this way. Um, we have over same 4-year period, earnings for workers ages 22 to 27 has only increased by 19%, and this is not in the same speed as the prices and everything else. But here, we'll just what might explain some of this? Well, the high cost of human teachers. Oh, right in with the AI stuff. Oh, we just need a reason to get rid of those pesky humans that require money to feed themselves and to make it to work every day. Well, that's just too expensive. We can't afford education if you actually have to pay people. So let's just, go ahead and get those machines and that AI going. I'm sure that's going to make everything better. Oh, and there's, a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of truth coming out here. Say the competition for the richest families is driving up the cost. Well, I mean, I thought it was just everybody got the same thing and there was no hierarchy, and I didn't think anybody got, privilege over anybody else. But it does seem like a case that there is a system where, you know, if you get your foot in the door, it's easy to stay in the room. Of course, that's the way they want it. Oh, but this is another good one here. Well, the state subsidies have failed. So the richest of the rich have manipulated the system to where it only benefits them, and now we need taxpayers to, fill in the rest for those poor folks who can't seem to get ahead because they can't afford college. Like, we made the whole world centered around this thing. Like, college is the most important thing in the world. You can't get anywhere without it, even though people who have it can't get anywhere with it, and now they want their money back. But we need to go ahead and subsidize them some more. And then it comes to the net price, and that's what I'm talking about. Businesses set the price of the products and goods. Schools make up their cost based on those services that they got to provide. And in the end, everybody who loans them the money gets richer and richer and richer. And that's not the poor folks who's trying to go get a degree in order to better their lives and just get a menial paying job. But true. What does come next? I mean, dang. Who thought it would go this way, right? I never did. But there's some people out there that have been warning us for a while. There's people out there who silenced, been left in the cold, kept out of kept away from society because they want to let us know what's going on. Wish we had more access to listen to them. I wish it was easier to hear their voices, but I'm going to have to cut this out here. See if you can get the tweak here. This is from a Mr. Derek Bros at Willing Witness. Sounds like somebody you might want to be paying attention to here on Twitter. And I'm going to clip the last part of this video here at the end, and not trying to say stay crazy or anything like that, but stay crazy.
Man exposes the system.
You understand politics, you think you understand political parties. You're all full of crap. You don't know what the Illuminati is. You're either Republican or you're Democrat. You're wrong! Why? It's this easy. It's called divide and conquer. That's why there's two parties and only two. And they're controlled by the same people at the very top who belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group. They also belong to the Trilateral Commission, and you people don't even know what the hell that is. But if you did know, you would know that these are the people that control your world by making global policies that you never vote on and by which parties both serve and belong to these organizations and control your world. Now, here's how it works. Really easy. Divide and conquer can only work if the people that are divided are not aware of the falsely created division. If you're not aware of it, then it works. If you know about it, then it don't work no more. If you have socialism without capitalism, it becomes communism. If you have capitalism without socialism, it becomes fascism. And it's just that easy.
I love you.
That's all you need to know. That's why Masonic symbols are all over your freaking money. But you don't pay attention.